Oh man, pressure's on.
How are you?
Dude, amazing. Just big chilling on the couch, ready to chat some fitness with the boy.
Are you on testosterone boosters? How do you grow such a luscious beard?
Ooh, I just got her trimmed up, bro. For those watching, hit up my barber Lewis here in Naples. He does the fresh cuts.
Oh, you've even got go faster stripes.
Oh yes, dude. Every comp. It's a mental thing now.
Yeah. Um, it's it's fucking impressive though, your beard. Like
Dude, thank
genuinely.
you, bro.
Do
I
you
appreciate
uh do you so that is that you now for semis? That's your look for semis.
Yes, sir. I figured I'm like, if you want to be with the men, you got to look like a man. You can't
Okay.
look like a little boy.
Because I saw like pictures of you yesterday and like on your own Instagram and stuff, and I was like, man, it's getting like he's like a wilderness guy. He's like
Dude.
really leaning into it. And then I was like, I bet he just shaves it all off for the semi final.
Mm-mm.
So I'm impressed you're keeping
I
it.
think that I feel naked without it now. It's been a couple years of on and off, and now I'm like, I feel too weird without it.
But didn't you have like kind of a bushy beard and then nothing straight
Yes,
after?
yeah.
How
I played
fucking
around.
weird. How weird is that? When you
It's
walk into it's for about 3 days, looking in the mirror, you're like, ugh, every time.
Yeah, oh, 100%. My lady prefers the goatee. I'm not a big
Okay.
goatee guy. My dad likes nothing on my face. He says I look like a caveman. Um, I kind of just I kind of go with what I like.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sir.
I think it adds to it that it's so dark as well. It really
Hmm.
makes it twice impressive. So the last time you were on, Jesus, actually a long time ago since you were on, but the last time you were on, you were just about to move to Florida. You were kind of saying that like, oh, I'm going to move down to Naples and I'm going all in and this will be me moving.
Has it been
Um
that long?
yeah.
Wow. Wow, I felt
Uh,
like we haven't chatted in a while, man. So yeah, I went all in about a year and a half ago, and now we're here. So it's absolutely crazy how time's flown that much. But I feel as if this place has been the best possible thing for my career, for my faith, for my relationships. Besides the lady and family, that's been hard being away. But made so many new friends down here, and it's just been so good in so many ways.
um after was there any kind of adjustment period or was it just smooth straight away?
Oh no, it was definitely hard, and there's still hard moments. I mean, sometimes I'll go to the gym just like I miss this person, I miss this person, and just that's why I'm glad I have phones so I can call them, and I write letters to a couple people time to time.
Do you actually write letters?
I do, yeah. Me and my lady are pen pals. We do it a lot just to keep the fire going sometimes, so we enjoy that.
That's like Stone Age sexting.
Yes, sir.
Just like no instant gratification. It's just like it's really playing the long game.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
that's funny.
so when you moved down there, it was Emma was also moving at like the same time, and then
Hmm.
Dallin, and then after that, Danielle moved after you guys moved there. Um, I'm curious about like that kind of dynamic because like you're an insanely positive person. Like from being around you, you have this huge like energy, and I think it would be like a lot of athletes that wouldn't suit. Like it wouldn't suit training with the like a direct competitor
Hmm.
who like could get a spot ahead of you at a competition or could finish ahead of you. And then the same for like Danielle and Emma. Is it just kind of is it luck? Is it ethos? Is it Matt and Mika? Is it like what is it that's making it like not be in any way dramatic or tumultuous or like problematic that there's four incredibly competitive people and it's like well fees there as well, so say three and two that are vying for the same reward, I guess.
Yeah. So what I look at it as, and I know everyone has a little different perspective, but I look at training with Dallin as he's the best in the East right now. He's ranked the best in the East. So I get to chase the best and know what the best is doing daily. So I can take notes from him. He can take notes from me on a couple things because he's pretty dang good at everything, very well rounded. But we can use each other to boost our own performances. And the push, I look at it as a blessing that I have someone who is so dedicated to their craft to train with, because it's also inspiring. Every day I walk in, I'm like, oh, there's someone else chasing the same mission with me. Um, Now, I know it's not easy like that for everyone, but I really do enjoy training with people. Not everyone that I compete against, but a lot of guys that I compete against, I would enjoy training with them. I mean, I train with Cole Sag back at home. We have an amazing time. I train with my buddy Tudor back at home. He's been to the games. Train with Sam Quant back at home. So, the guys that I do compete against or will compete against, like, I love being in the gym with them. I learn from them.
Yeah, it's funny, like looking at it from other people's perspectives. I'm guessing like there will be some people who don't like someone taking notes from what they're doing or don't like, but I kind of feel like because it's you, people are kind of like, nah, it's okay. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like just like having a golden retriever puppy around the place who's
Oh,
like
it's sweet,
is a
bro.
competitor, but it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's James though, it's fine. It's like
Dude.
he can do it.
Dallin told me today, he goes, once you make it to the games, I'm not telling you any of my secrets anymore. I hope you realize that. He's like, I want it for you right now, but not when you get to the games, I'm shutting up. And I'm like, okay, fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I get it. But so he's funny in that way. I mean, he showed me some things today that really helped me with a couple of the events, and so I'm grateful to have him in my corner, and he's just a strong-hearted, good dude that makes me better in every way.
Other things that have changed. So you're with Wit now. I saw you put up like an instructional airwave video there yesterday on how
Yeah.
to. Have you had work done on your teeth? Are they your natural teeth, or have you got like veneers?
Oh no, they're good.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Really?
I noticed it for the first time in the airwave video that I was like, my God, he's surely had work done. Did you ever
Dude,
wear
no, I
braces?
just got braces, bro. I
Okay.
mean, my mom gave me the choice like 6 years ago. She said, "I'll pay for them right now, and if you say no right now, you're paying for them later." So I was like, "Oh, let's go." Didn't want to do it, but dude, that compliment makes it all worth it.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. On Mother's Day as well.
Yes, for real. Shout out moms,
What you could have done is just waited and then not molded the airwave and just like bashed it into place, and then that would straighten them out as well.
bro. So many
But yeah,
ways.
you've got more opportunities, more like sponsorships. But then I guess the caveat with that is that there's pressure to perform and there's pressure to like it's kind of a double edged sword where it's like, oh, this is great, this is making things possible, and it's you know what would you call it? Almost like a passive income, I guess, and it's support. But then there's also the aspect of like, oh, well, if I don't do well, I'll be in trouble with when this contract is up for renewal, or I won't be as, you know, in demand. I guess. Do you feel any of that?
No, the biggest pressure that I feel is me to me. Me wanting to prove something to myself that last year was a huge fluke, and that the work I did this year is going to make last year's pain so worth it. Because I think that last year, missing out was the best thing that could have happened to me, for this year's training purposes. Because every day I walked in the gym with this, it took a while to get to this, but I walked into the gym with this tenacity and this fire to fix all these things and work harder than I ever have, and really do things right. So I don't know if I would say the pressure of sponsors is the big part. I would say the pressure of letting myself down is biggest, and then like letting family down and stuff second. And then I'd say sponsors is right there with the family stuff, but mostly me to me.
Um, Last year, so I like so like whatever, like yesterday or the day before, CrossFit Games shared like, which I mean, it can't get any easier to see it either. Um, but I'm going to show it to you again.
Yes.
So they shared the video of like from the perspective they were sharing was, wow, look at this Will Morad, isn't it amazing? But then there's also the fact that like you were on the other side of that.
Uh-huh.
Like when you see it now, is it like, are you kind of detached from it? Like, is it almost like didn't happen, or is it still quite raw?
Oh, very raw. Yeah, last night I watched that. I was actually at Dallin's house, and we had our phones down, and I pick it up and my CrossFit Games tagged you, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? I gotta look."
Oh, they
It
tagged you as well. Oh my
it
God.
just put this like sour, how do I put it? Sour taste in my mouth about last year, and I've gotten over last year, so I've tried not to like go watch, everything
Yeah.
about last year, because it just feels so sour, and so like that was so in your control and you still mess it up. So um that type of thing, I commented the perfect reaction, that's fuel.
Mm.
That was fuel last night, and it's fuel going into the week. And just not I'm actually glad
Yeah.
it reminded me that you have to take advantage of every point, because 1 point, it could come down to 1 point.
Mm.
uh So go make it happen every opportunity you get.
You said there that when you went back that it took a while to turn that into like fuel or fire. How long are we talking? Like, is it like weeks, months?
I would say I didn't feel fully like, I felt like I was in a state of almost depression for a couple weeks. Like
Do you think would it have been easier to miss out? Like, was it any consolation that it was that close, or would you have, uh, obviously you can't change, but would it have been easier to stomach had it been like 40 points or like not?
It definitely would have been easier because then it would be like, oh, I just got work to do. But that was like, oh, I'm actually there, and I just screwed up. I mean, there was a couple events where it was like 2 milliseconds,
Yeah.
2 milliseconds of a difference, and it was like one wall ball, no rep, or literally just sprinting through the line a little quicker, or stuff where it's like so minute that you just have to remember that. Especially with 60 guys on the floor this time. With 30, there will be milliseconds. With 60 guys, there's going to be plenty of guys millisecond difference. So you got to find ways to make up those milliseconds in every event. So yeah, I'm glad that it still hurts a little bit because I am bringing all that fuel into Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday, end of Sunday. It's not stopping.
You were at the games with your dad last year, isn't that right?
I was there last year spectating demo team. I did demo team last year.
Oh, sorry, it's the year before you were there with your dad.
Yes, yeah.
When you got the call for demo team, had you gotten like, were you ready for that call? Did you just do it because you were doing it, or were you like?
It was an experience. I wanted to go be something for the CrossFit Games that was, giving getting a process in, or getting an experience in that made the year memorable at the games. Like the year before, it was going and coaching my dad.
Oh, you're back.
My phone went blank for a sec. Last year it was all about just learning what goes on behind the scenes, so I could take all that information into this year and really take advantage of it. But last year was really cool. I was glad I got to go do that, but definitely want to be an athlete this year.
Did you get sick or something as well during it? Did you have to like leave and come back? What happened
Yeah,
there?
we're sick maybe ever gotten. I was so sick. It was after the first day of testing. I mean, I can say this now, but I did the capital. I did that back nine. I did a couple different team tests. I did another individual. I did that individual handstand one, whatever it was. And then a bunch of sled pushes and stuff outside. I was destroyed after day one. Overworked, underfed, underfueled, underhydrated. My body shut down.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So again, lessons. That's lessons for this year. Yeah. Okay. And did any aspect of doing that surprise you? Like, was there were you treated the way that you thought demo team would be treated? Were you privy to things that you thought you'd be privy to? Were you still like, did you learn enough from it, do you think, to make it a valuable experience?
Oh yeah, for sure. I felt like it gave me insight into how Boz thinks, which is interesting because exactly how he thinks is, I think, how he programmed this year for the semis. So it's like it was really cool to just pick his brain on everything and watch how much care he put into it and understand how hard the games tests actually are and how much they changed the games test so much. Like they'll have an original version and then it will deviate from that so much. So it's just cool to see that.
Even there, like what at what point did you join up? Did you just go to Madison, or were you like somewhere else before that?
No. I was just in Madison. I didn't do the testing before. They did like a month beforehand testing at Rogue, but
are you saying that they changed it like after you joined up? They still changed it.
Oh no, they change things constantly from about April to May when they come up with the tests. So I'm sure they have a couple games tests already. And then they keep changing them to get them perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you were talking to Boz and like asking questions, did you get any sort of like, man, shut up, ask me questions? I know what you're doing. Like, stop asking me questions. Trying to figure out like what's coming.
I recommended. I think there was me and Griffin Rawl recommended with the strict handstand push-up to just touch your head. And he was like, I've been down that road. Don't tell me what to do. But he was nice about it. But he was like, hey, I'm the programmer. Don't question
Yeah.
me, type of thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
so the Open then this year, well, Wadapalooza was first, so you had actually a picture of you in your singlet popped up on my feed there earlier on. So you had your team with Dallin and Hopper, and then like, did you expect that? It seemed to be an incredibly enjoyable experience just from watching you guys. Did you expect it? Like, did you expect to enjoy Wadapalooza as much as you enjoyed Wadapalooza?
Oh, yeah, I expected it to be just as fun, if not more fun. We screwed up the day one, so it was a little stressful, but we still had fun. We really kind of ate it on that first day with the running. We should have been really high up on the runner for a 5K. But that was so far long ago. We had so much fun. It was a memorable experience. I love those two dudes I got to do it with, and hoping we can run it back someday.
And then, so after, I'm kind of trying to find follow a timeline, through your kind of off season, and then like after
Sure.
Wadapalooza, then you trained with Cole a bit. Um, you mentioned earlier on that you trained with Tudor and you trained with Sam as well. How did those kind of sessions come about? Is that like, do you message them and just say, hey, I'm going to be in the air? Because you trained a good bit with Cole. I know Cole was supposed to be on the team originally for Wadapalooza,
Yes.
and you trained a good bit with him.
Mhm.
Like, but he's like, what's the link there? Is it just like geography, or is there
Oh
another?
yeah, it's just geography and just love being around good dudes. So I really just like Tudor's one of my best friends, so we'll always be in this together. We started the sport together and went to the games
Yeah,
together our first year, and it's been awesome to watch his success, especially last year, just making it. Um, and Quant was like I got to train with him up to his second place finish in 2020. That was super cool. Just trained with him all the time because he was about an hour drive from my house. Um, and then Cole, I just messaged him one day. I was in the area and I was like, "Yo, we should train together sometime. We've never like I went to West Coast with you and you beat me in this ruck. Let's hang out." And we became really good friends. And now he's like a brother to me, an
that's
older
cool.
brother, a wise older brother.
Yeah, an older, less hairy brother. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, dude,
Um,
for real. I give him crap about his hair all the time.
you could probably shave off some of yours and just donate it, and then
I'll
just make
glue
life
it on
better.
him.
Yeah. When you after that, then you went back. So you were back in Florida, and you did the Open. You did quarterfinals. Like after last season, does that change? Obviously, it changed your approach to live competition and those milliseconds and stuff that you're talking about. And I'm assuming that, I guess, the work that was being done in the off season training prior to the Open and quarterfinals, and I guess during the Open for someone of your level, but like nothing really changes there, does it? Like based off missing out, like it's not. You're still trying to get stronger. You're still trying to get faster. You're still trying to work on weaknesses that were showing up. Whereas, like for the Open and quarterfinals, is it a case of just getting through that, keeping going with the off season work that you were doing, and then the real change will be noticeable, say now, like next weekend?
This whole year after the syndicate crown last year, it was literally, realizing my strength is just not there. So this whole off season, this whole last year was just diving deep into strength. And competition awareness on the floor. So I went and did Can West and the Zalos games for those two reasons of just getting floor time down, because being on the floor is so different than training, and so many more variables that you have to control, like communicating with your judge and understanding the layout of the floor and transitions. And so it's so different than training. So those two things, I've gained so much ground in the competition experience and the strength aspect. I feel like have both come a long way, which makes me a lot more confident that I can have well-rounded finishes this year rather than just like a home run hit and then a big strikeout. I don't want those.
Did you like? Do you do any mindset stuff, or do you think that you've kind of got that boxed away?
I feel pretty good with it. The only mindset I feel like I need to work on, which I feel like I've done good about, is just being more serious in the gym. And like go in there and treat it like a job instead of playtime. Because I think that was one of my issues, that I'd go treat it like, oh, fun playtime, where you can still do that sometimes, but it's like, hey, this is serious. Go treat it like it's serious. And you can still crack jokes and have a good time and dance around, but like, you got to turn on a different mentality when you walk in there, and that's how you're going to get good at the sport. Can't just lollygag around, you know?
Yeah. How are you feeling about semifinals, about the programming, and about the those other 59 guys that you've mentioned?
Oh, dude, I absolutely love the programming. As a runner, a guy that loves running, I think it's great. I really do like the capacity that you have to do well. If you do not have capacity in gymnastics, barbell, aerobicness, machines, like, you have to have so much capacity with these workouts to move on. It's not just like, oh, do you have the skills? Do you have strength? Like, you have to be the most well-rounded. And it shows with this program. Like, if you can't do the ruck muscle ups, you're screwed out of getting a good score in that event. If you can't run fast or do machines fast, you're not going to do great in that event. If you can't bike fast in the finale, you're going to be screwed. If you can't do all the handstand tricks in that event 6, you're going to be screwed. So just being well-rounded is going to serve you really well. They didn't leave really anything out. Running, jumping. The only thing, I'm surprised there's not as much squatting. I think it's going to be a very upper body dominant competition, which is rare to say. But I think the upper half of your body will come out much more sore than your lower body at the end of the weekend.
What is it about Brute and about working with Matt that you think is helping you? Like, what's the main draw for you?
Matt understands who I am as a person more than a CrossFitter, understands what I need and how to level with me, where it looks different for him and Emma. It looks different for him and Danielle. So he does a great job of understanding what I need. He does a great job of periodizing the season, making sure I work hard when I need to work hard, taper down when I need to taper down. He does a great job of deloading me, and just helping me understand. I haven't had the biggest issue with this ever, but helping me understand that CrossFit isn't everything. There's so much more out there, and Matt's a big he loves our hard work ethic and wants us to put it to use, but he's also like, hey, go be humans. And so that's also been great to live in Florida for that reason. He just wants us to go out and be humans. I go golf, I go beach, I go do all these outdoor fun things a lot, and it's a blessing.
I assume this is Chase. I haven't done much squatting at all this year. I'm assuming for that's ramping up to just a ridiculously leg heavy games. Then, if that's the case, if we're if you're looking for this well-rounded person, you're going to have to test it at some point.
I mean, Boz was a gymnast. Gymnasts don't use their legs. Maybe we have to he's still going to make you squat. Obviously, you see the squat cleans, you see the pistols, you see the snatch, you see there's still going to be legs. I mean, that last event was the last event has or the 40 overhead squats and then the bike sandbag. Your legs will still burn. It's not squatting, but it's like your legs still need to be there, it's just not traditional. Oh, all you have to do to have strong legs is squat. Like, strong legs can also mean jumping high. Strong legs can also mean lunging. It doesn't just mean squatting. So I kind of like it,
Have you tested the workouts? Have you tested them, like all of them, some of them more than once?
I've tested all of them now. Yeah.
Just once each?
Just once each. Do a little run through Tuesday, Wednesday of, movement patterns, just making sure my body recognizes what it's about to do, and just eat really healthy, get good, really, really good sleep. And by that point, Friday, I'll be really antsy to work out.
When you're testing them, do you, because obviously there's I heard Chase and Bill talking about this, and Taylor and JR as well, and Phil and Lucy mentioned it on my show the other day, where there is like ambiguity in the language, and there's deliberately it's either deliberate or just dumb. There's words being left out, or like different versions on the Instagram as on the website and stuff. It's like the things are worded slightly differently, whatever. Are you like, when you're testing the workouts, are you saying, okay, it'll probably be this, I'm going to test this, see how it feels. If it's the other thing, I'll just have to deal with that on the day?
I think you should always test the harder of the version. So if it could be,
What were you
let's
doing with
say,
the ruck then with the burpees? Were
what
you
was I
doing like
doing? I thought it would actually be harder with the get over arm version because your arms get more taxed. So I did them with the get overs. Um, so I mean, people have done box jumps too and said that their legs blow up. But if you do it with the get overs with your arms are more taxed going to the muscle up. So I mean, with that one, it could go either or. But let's
hmm,
say, for instance, the you either use a soul runner or shuttle runs for a test 4 or 5. Uh, I think the shuttle runs are going to be a lot harder because you're bending over more and hinging more and you're stop and start. So 800 meters is going to take a lot longer. You'll have less window to snatch. So we practiced with that. And then we practiced with as hard of a pirouette standard as they could do. We practiced the hardest seated legless rope climb they could do. You should always practice it harder, in my opinion, because then if it comes up easier, you're like, oh, let's go.
yeah, what's that like? Train heavy, race light, basically, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
There's Nick just giving you some shit. Oh, it's that guy that knows treatment
Hey,
right there.
hey, Nick, I put your sticker on my pegboard, the Sprague sticker, and they're on my fridge out there too.
Oh, that's cool.
I gotta get more this year, brother.
Um, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about semifinals though? So, say, are you concerned with where you finish, or do you just want to finish inside, like with a ticket? Do you give a shit if you're like where you are once you have a ticket in your hand at the end? It doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but my real goal is top 5, which is super ambitious out of 12. Especially with all the guys there. And I believe that if I execute things to perfection, that it's possible. Now, at the end of the day, if I qualify, it's hallelujah, we made it. But I don't want to be in a position going into the last event where I have to fight for my life. Last year, I didn't think I had to fight for my life either, but this year's finale suits me a little better than last year's finale. So I'm more excited to end with an event. I'd say it's one of my stronger events of the weekend. So I'm excited to end with that one.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
What do your parents do?
My dad does insurance and he's super good at it. He's been doing it forever. He should be retiring soon. And my mom is a nurse slash ER tech assistant. She does a lot in the emergency room.
And are they like positive people? Is that where you got it
Yeah.
from?
Oh yeah. For sure. My dad, I think he's just as much, if not more positive than I am. I think I get my positivity from him. I mean, you go to the gym and you're in a gym with Pat Sprague, you're getting hyped up, you're getting cheered on. It doesn't matter who you are. He will be your biggest fan and cheerleader, and it's the best thing ever.
It's funny, like I sent out an email on Sundays, and back in like after I came back from Wadapalooza, I wrote an email, and like you were the topic of the email because
Yeah.
I was honestly floored when I met you of just your, I don't know how to describe it really, like just kind of energy, I guess, where we like I can't remember, we met, I think Benji brought me over or something, you were sitting at a table, and you like welcomed me in. That's obviously appreciated. But then you were like, I said, oh, how are you? And you said, I am amazing. And I was like, God, I really believe him. You know, like most people just say like, yeah, I'm okay. But you were like, I am amazing. And I was like, he fucking is amazing. It's just like this like energy coming out that I was like, man, this guy is, and like that's the reaction you get then. People like Ortega being like, James, like I don't
Oh,
know, it's remarkable. I think that's why like I really like Will Morad, and I was like, you know, I was kind of, I guess, a bit torn last year where I was happy for him and he had such an awful year, like personally, that it was nice that he had a nice moment in the year, like to, you know, an extra boost or
totally.
whatever. But like I was just gut wrenching for you. And then I think it, like, I don't know, I think whatever your parents have done or whatever you have done to cultivate the just kind of positive energy that you have is like, I'm remarking on it because it is genuinely remarkable. Like, it's like, it's easy to, there's a lot of people I think as well who you see as positive, and you kind of, you know, you might watch them in an interview or you might like read something they've said and think like, oh wow, they're positive, but like, I wonder, are they really positive? But like from meeting you that 1 or 2 times in person, I was like, there's literally no facade here. There's no like, all right, I better like, pull up my socks and strap my mask on and pretend I'm happy and, be that like
Totally.
energy. It's like, it's real core shit. Like it's incredible.
Totally. I mean, people are attracted to genuine people, right? I mean, you can obviously tell when someone's not being genuine, and I think I really want to be a guy that's just always, honest and real with people. I think that is definitely an important part to building real relationships too.
Hmm. So
Mm-hmm.
you were one of Benji's first clients, is that right?
Oh, I was his first. We went in together. I didn't know anything about management. He didn't know much about management. We kind of just dove in, and man, now we're here.
Is it like, is there, obviously you're like, you'd be really happy for him that he's making so many waves and he's, like,
Yeah.
been whatever partnered or enveloped or whatever way you want to put it with strength in numbers and stuff. But like, is there a part of you that like when he started getting other clients where you were like, oh, maybe just stay with just us, maybe just like give me
Yes, yes, there
all of
was
your
a part of
attention
me.
all the time.
Yes, I really did. I really was like selfishly, I was like, I just want this guy to myself because I love our friendship and our partnership. But I also understood that I was no means to making him a full-time agent at this point. I would love to be that in the future.
Yeah.
Um,
He's
and
like, okay,
so I
win the games in the next 6 months, and I'll keep you as my only client.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
I was like, hey, like I have to be realistic with myself. Like, I am at only so there's only so much I can provide for him, and he has a family too that he's got to provide for. So I'm like, I want to go out and make it. So eventually, he only really needs to be with me. That'd be really cool.
how did you two meet in school or what?
No, we met. He was coming out to shoot photos of Tudor one day at the gym, and I met him there. And then we went out to lunch, and we figured like, oh, we have a lot of similar values. Let's just hang out sometime and be bros. And then he was like, yo, I want to be an athlete manager one day. And I was like, I need a manager. I want to do this thing. And that's kind of how it started.
Wow, just really taking a punt on some of this. Pretty incredible. So
Yes, sir.
I just want to answer this because like, so usually I sit here, right? This is
The rule of
this is
thirds.
this is the comfortable place to sit because my desk is like a wraparound desk, and this is where my legs fit. And then I've obviously
It's
got
kind of
like,
sick. You got a bike in the back too. You're in your gym or is this
yeah,
your
it's
gym or your studio?
both.
Oh,
When you're at my low level, you combine you combine areas. So there's like, I don't know if there's a box here, right there.
oh, big
Okay,
boy.
so for like box jumps
Okay.
and shit. So I to sit where Will wants me to sit. He's given out to me about this before. I have to hit like I'm right up against the box. Otherwise, the comfortable place is here. But then it just looks stupid. And I think, yeah, he pointed that out to me a while ago. And I have been
I
doing
think you look
this.
good anywhere, bro. I think you're rocking it.
Well, it also shows how little Will has been watching because I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now. Will, so fuck you, but thank you.
Get on the show more, Will.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you two hypotheticals. One of them you won't want to hear, but I do think it's important just to see where your head is at with it. So hypothetical number one. Sorry, actually, I want to ask you something else first. You said that you have
Let's go.
a goal of finishing top five. How do you come up with that goal? Like, so how do you?
Um,
Because obviously, if there's say minimum 12 other guys, 11 other guys. So you
yeah.
already want to finish in there. So that means, are you relying solely on your own performance, or are you having to come up with a goal like that? Are you comparing yourself to, okay, I can beat that guy in this workout, I can beat that guy in this one, and then are you like doing it through comparison, or are you doing it through regardless of what anyone else can do, I know that I can finish like top
I,
five?
I'm doing it based off what I know I can do with these events. I kind of can't. Once I realized what all the events were, I was like, okay, you know what? There's gonna be maybe one or two that aren't as strong, but the rest are pretty dang strong. So, I feel as if I am capable of uh, doing something that scares me, and I should set a scary goal. And then if I miss my goal, I still make the games. So I'm gonna fight for that. And I also think that it's just one at a time. Take one event at a time. And I think that goal also comes from I made a shirt last year. It was a really sick jersey that says top five. And so I want that shirt to mean something.
Yeah. So you wear the t-shirt first and then live it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hypotheticals then. So hypothetical number one, you realize your goal that you set out. You finish top five. What does the rest of the season look like? Is it, you mentioned there that Dallin probably isn't going to be as willing to lay his cards on the table as frequently around you anymore. Is it just go back to where you were before semifinals? You're in there. You're pitting yourself against Matt's programming and trying to see like how much you can develop between now and the games, with that awareness of last year on the demo team, knowing like that you need to fuel better and hydrate better and all that kind of stuff. Is that just what the next couple of months looks like then?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not focusing on like what games training looks like yet. All I know is that when I get to the games, that's where I'm going to thrive because I love outdoor stuff. I'm a biker, runner, swimmer at heart, and all the odd object stuff I love. So that's why I was actually really excited to see like, oh, they incorporated a bunch of stuff they sometimes do at the games, like those heavy sled pulls and lots of running and new things that are odd. So I was really excited to see them start this earlier. So yeah, I don't know what the training's gonna look like. All I know is I'm gonna show up every day and give it my best.
Okay, hypothetical number two. So you don't qualify,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you remove yourself from the environment, or do you like force yourself to endure it to help the others? Like to help, because I'm curious of like, say if Dallin didn't qualify and he left, that's a large hole left behind in your day and then in like the gym environment, and it's an abnormal change, we'll say, from what it has been like for the last maybe 8 months or whatever. And I'm thinking of it,
Yeah.
if you don't qualify, which obviously isn't something that you want to think about, but I'm just curious of, from an elite athlete standpoint, when a goal is there and you miss it, do you remove yourself, or do you like kind of take one for the team and be like, I'll stick around and I'll try and push the rest of them and improve myself while I'm at it, kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know what that would look like. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think of the negative outcome. The negative outcome, like if that happens, I'll deal with when I get there. But I don't think that's gonna happen this year, so I don't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is either, to be honest. Well, I hope it doesn't. Okay, so you've obviously not thought about the games training or the games, so I'm assuming you haven't thought beyond there. Are you literally like, once next weekend is over, then I'll start thinking about like the following weekend and the weekend after?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah. I mean, live for what's now, right? There's no need to, in my opinion. There are some things I plan on doing in the off season that are outside of CrossFit related, that are super important milestones in my life. But yeah, overall, I think that I am just solely focused on domination next weekend and doing everything that I possibly can, so that the future can look bright.
um you were a teen athlete originally,
Mm-hmm.
and you were at the games as a teen athlete, and then now you're obviously aiming to, make it as a bearded man, a
Yes.
hirsute man to the games. Do you think that there's an assumption there? So I'm looking at, say, Olivia Kerstetter and Lucy McGonigal. They're both in the teenage division, and there's another girl whose name I can't remember, and I feel really bad that I'm not name checking her. She's in Justin's gym. Oh my god.
I think I know Trista.
Yes, Trista Smith. Yes, thank you. So like I said, they're all at semifinals now this week. And there's, I guess, Olivia probably has the most pressure out of the three of them, or the most expectation on her out of the three of them, I guess. But like, from your perspective, you're kind of undergoing making the transition from a teenage athlete into a games and an open field games athlete, we'll say. Do you think that there's a misunderstanding, or I don't know, like that people think maybe it's easier than it actually is to go from one into the other, that they think like, oh, well, you were successful or you qualified to the games as a teenager, ergo when you decide to, or when you age up, you should within a year or two just qualify? Do you think it's more complicated than people think it is?
Oh, much. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lifestyle change. Training as a teen is nothing like training as an individual. And I think that you have to take it. It's not even a comparison of how much more seriously you have to take it. And the body for guys just doesn't grow as fast as it does for girls or mature. So there's a lot of things you will be lacking in. And that is just a fact about the body. So it takes time. I mean, Dallin was able to do it a year before I did it. And you know, I'm when I turn 21 next year, God will it, that I qualify for the games, and that'd be pretty young to qualify for the games. 21 years old would be a great thing. I think that if you're a young teen games athlete and you're taking 1 to 2 years between, let's say 2 years. 2 years is incredible. A 2-year buffer is incredible. Now 3 and 4, that's like where I'm at. I'm at year 3, where it's like, okay, you know, let's start making this thing happen. Year 4, you should be pretty dang close for a guy at least. But I do looks different guy to girl.
Is there an event that you're looking forward to? Is that first event? Is that the one that you're really chomping at the bit to get going at?
I would say event 1, event 3, 4 and 5, and 7. The event 2 and event 6 are the ones I have to execute my best. But the other ones I'm racing in. I'm trying to go for those.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good to be able to rattle off more than one number, not just say like, "Oh, I can't wait for event 6." Everything else is going to be a train wreck. I just want to do event 6.
Yeah, I don't think anything will be a train wreck from like last year where I had 2 train wreck events. I don't think that'll happen this year. Now what I do think is that there's some events where you got to race, and there's other events where you just got to stay in your own lane because that's all you got.
Yeah.
So if I'm comparing handstand push-ups next to Noah Olson, I just look stupid. So I'm not going to compare next to Noah Olson on handstand push-ups, you know?
But then you can just burn rubber on the assault runner.
Yeah, exactly.
Swings both ways. So swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll let you go. Thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate it. I know it was kind of last minute. I honestly, you're like you've been on the show once before. You've been on it now twice, obviously, and we met briefly a couple of times in Miami. But there are a few people in the sport, I think, who have had as lasting an impact that I've met as you had. I just think whatever you're doing, just keep doing exactly what you're doing, because it's the type of energy I think that people need, I think.
Dude, those are powerful words, brother. And I really appreciate you having me on and just talking with me bro to bro. And thank you so much. And thank you for having me on, dude. It was a great time.
Yeah, I'll see you in Madison.
Yes, you will.